Welcome to another edition of the Sundown series, where today we will be talking about Greenwood, Indiana. Greenwood is a city in Johnson County, Indiana, United States. The population was 49,791 at the 2010 census and increased to 59,458 in the census 2019 estimates. Greenwood is located between Indiana State Road 37 and Interstate 65. The city shares a border with Indianapolis and is the most populous suburban municipality in the southern portion of the Indianapolis metropolitan area. The first inhabitants of the area currently known as Greenwood were the Delaware Indians. In 1818, the Treaty of St. Mary's opened central Indiana to European American settlement, and by 1823, the first cabin in the northern Johnson County was erected by settlers John B. and Isaac Smock on land now occupied by Greenwood Park Mall. Greenwood was first known as Smocktown or Smock Settlement in honor of the Smock brothers, and became Greenfield in 1825. Since this clashed with another Greenfield located in Hancock County, the name of the settlement was changed to Greenwood in 1833. Greenwood was incorporated as a town under Indiana law in 1864. In 1965, an Indiana Civil Rights Commission report found that Greenwood had recently been one of 19 sundown towns in Indiana. The fact that Indiana has 19 sundown towns. I don't know how many cities is in Indiana, but that's a lot of towns. Now, I don't think when I was doing my compiling the list that I had 19 towns for Indiana, because there's a lot of towns for Indiana. I think I mentioned that before. Not as much as Illinois, but they're almost neck and neck. Where African Americans were not allowed to live or stay after dark. The city had been exclusively white since the 1920s. As of the census of 2010, like I mentioned before, there were 49,791 people, 19,615 households, and 12,845 families residing in the city. The population density was, I'm going to just skip that part. The racial makeup of the city was 91.1% white, 1.7% African American, 0.3% Native American, 3.7% Asian, 0.1% Pacific Islander, 2.1% from other races, and 2.1% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 4% of the population. You want to know what's so crazy? I've been doing this Sundown series since January, and 91.1% of white people living in a particular town as of right now, I think, is so far, if I'm not mistaken, the lowest number of white people to live in a town. What does that tell you? 91.1%. That means every other town I talked about, the numbers have been over that. And this so far, I think, is the least one. I'm trying to think if it was another one. I can't really pinpoint it, but so far this sounds like it was the lowest one. And I'm already like 30 some towns in. So that's saying something. But that's pretty much all I have for this edition of the Sundown series. There was some other stories that I did come across that were more recent, involving stuff that happened in this town that happened like in 2016, where you had a black family who had racial slurs spray painted onto their home. But that, as far as racism, as far as a racial incident that happened in recent years, I think that was the most recent one for this particular town. But it's amazing. They said this town has pretty much been predominantly white since the 1920s. That can be said for the rest of them as well. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this, and I will talk to you in the next one.